the immediate future does offer a land of milk and honey for consumers and marketers. But for one thing, not for broadcasters. And the second thing is, the thing about the future is that it doesn't happen till later. And at the moment, we have to contend with the devastation being wrought by the digital revolution. Now, finally, I'd like to say a word or two about radio. Forgive me if any of you happen to catch my act at the Canadian Music Week back in March and have seen this exercise before, but I would like you to do something for me, please. If you're in the radio business, I want you to look to the person immediately to your right, and then I want you to look to the person immediately to your left. Okay? Got it? All right, all three of you are fucked. Just let me take down the list again. You know, a preposterous means of distribution. Giant power-gobbling transmitters sending radio waves into the ionosphere. A couple of 100 million iPods and other music players playing 250 billion downloads. In-car broadband and iPod docks within a few years of being commonplace in automobiles. Limited lowest common denominator playlists, punctuated endlessly by cheap ads. Oh, and cheap ads are getting cheaper all the time because of the supply and demand issue that I discussed earlier, and also because of the fact that not a single one of you honors your own rate card. So, you know, have I pretty much covered the challenges? Challenges. This isn't how you business people talk. Challenges. As opposed to, say, existential crisis, which is how I would put it. I mean, I just love it how you all speak so euphemistically. Like you call your customers partners. How much more budget can we squeeze out of our stupid-ass partners this quarter? Anyway, let's be real here. You're not on a bumpy ride. Is that clear? You're not on a bumpy ride. You are on Apollo 13. And please note that the astronauts on that craft did not radio back, Houston, we have a challenge. Okay, so I think you're getting the picture now. Several gazillion-dollar industries being brought to their knees by a tiny upstart, like Leonard Wibberley's cute little novel back from 1955, The Mouse That Roared. Zillions of web pages means a nearly infinite supply of ad inventory, which, of course, drives prices down, down, down. A handful of websites are self-sustaining based on ad sales. The other 99.99999% are not. And thanks to that pesky law of supply and demand, never will be. Mass media and mass marketing have been a mutually sustaining yin and yang for centuries, but they are flying apart, never to be rejoined. The symbiosis simply doesn't work in the micro world. For starters, as counterintuitive as this advice might sound to folks in the business of broadcasting to a passive audience, shut up and listen. Not to me, but to the group formerly known as the audience, or for that matter, to the customer or the electorate or the congregation, whatever. Every institution that has formally dictated from the top down must begin treating its constituencies not as the anonymous hoi polloi, but as genuine stakeholders and partners. For one thing, they're not listening to you anyway. They're listening to each other talk about you, and they're using your products, your brand names, your iconography, your slogans, your trademarks, your designs, your goodwill, your programs, all of it as if it belonged to them, which, in a way, it all does, because after all, having spent decades and cumulatively hundreds of billions of dollars trying to convince them judgment can be harsh, it can be swift, and it can be powerful. Now, most of you, unfortunately, are in no position to do so because you pay very little attention to your audiences. Oh, to your customers, yeah, but to your audiences, not so much. Now, I know you think you pay attention. I mean, you spend fortunes paying for ratings sliced and diced 7 ways to Sunday, which in the context of modern data mining is like collecting crime scene evidence with a wet vac. Folks, you don't know shit about your audiences. All you know, or sort of almost know, is who is consuming what programming when. Kind of. For an industry that spends hours and hours and hours on end with its end users in such intimate settings, you have till now shown very little interest in any of those people, but their eyeballs. And not only is that reckless in this day and age, it's wasteful. You are squandering a priceless resource, a priceless reservoir of not only goodwill, but of energy, loyalty, labor, and evangelism. But aren't you all part of communities, actual physical communities? Well, duh. And for some of you, my guess, probably when it's all shaken out, about 25% of you, that central fact will be your salvation. Your future, in my opinion, is based not in having the best rated 5 o'clock news in your market. I believe in investing in talent, but it's not going to be who has the goofiest drive time personalities. Your future is based on being the place where everybody in your community tunes for news, information, entertainment, and culture. And that means not only video if you're a TV station, or audio if you're a radio station. I'm talking about video, audio, and text, the whole deal. You must understand and be a master of all platforms, because you are no longer in competition with Channel 4 and Rock 105. You are in a race with every radio station and every TV station and every newspaper in your markets who are going to be doing exactly the same thing. And the winner may not even be among them. I mean, the winner in your market may be some player yet unheard from. A hyper-local news website, an online city guide, whoever has the foresight and the patience to listen to what the community has to say, to provide the community with what it wants, and to make it very, very easy for the community to talk to one another. Oh, and by the way, that community will not just be an audience. They will do a lot of work for you. They will cover municipal meetings for you. They'll find the most interesting stories for you. They will create and populate events for you. They will market content for you. They will be your workforce, your promotions department, your R&D. And the more you invite them in, the more they will do for you. It'll be pretty much a miracle. I mean, I'd be surprised if there were more than 1 or 2 winners per market. And there certainly won't be 8. The race will not go to the biggest. As we've seen, the barriers for entry are low. It will not go to the current ratings leaders, because those ratings are mere rankings of the shrewdest dictator of what content will be served. And the days of media dictatorships are over. Now, the winner will be the institution that listens the best.